Hi, let's talk about the bibliographical section that we have to fill out for our source. So the book that I looked at provided two authors. So I have my first author, and this is not necessarily done alphabetically. You have to look at the source and determine which author is listed first if there's more than one author. So Anne Burgess was listed first. So her first name is going to be, her last name is going to be placed first, comma, her first name, her initial, and the other author's name, but it is not inverted. Then we have the title of the book. We have the name of the entity, like the publisher, and then the year. And then I also provided, I guess what you would call the database where I found it. So it is actually like housed in an online database called the National Criminal Justice Reference Service. So I went ahead and named that database. And I also provided the web address. And the goal for any bibliographical entry is to make sure that you give enough information that if somebody wants to go and find this source on his or her own, that's possible. I also provided the date that I accessed it, simply because I kind of like to see, when you last looked at this, because I might go and look at it and it's possible that it changed from the time that you looked at it. So I also want to make sure that I format this in a particular way. This will be not so important on the research card, but it will be quite important when you are working on your list of works cited. So I am going to make some adjustments here. You will notice that when you use web addresses, first of all, you don't need to put the HTTP : part if the website includes www. Okay, so we can just take the HTTP part away and we're left starting with www. Notice how we have all this space here, but it doesn't want us to put our web address there because it would have to break it. Okay, and Word doesn't like to break web addresses. So if we can tell it that we actually don't mind that it breaks, if we can actually manually break it at one of these slashes, that might help us a bit. Yeah, notice that once I hit enter there, that it let me move this part up to the previous line. Now something I will want to do, because we don't want that hyperlinked at all, so I'm going to click on it and tell it to remove the hyperlink. Alright, now I can adjust this a little bit more. Okay, it's going to do the same thing. Let me go remove hyperlink, and okay, I might have to make some adjustments with spacing there. For the sake of space, I'm not going to double space this in my card, but if you were putting this in your works cited, list of works cited page, you definitely would have to double space it. But for the sake of space, here I'm not going to double space it. Alright, now I want this to have a hanging indent. So I'm going to highlight it, go to paragraph, and where it says indentation, I'm going to tell it that I want a special indentation, a hanging indentation, and I click OK. All right. So sometimes you still get some strange formatting. So let me see, now that I have my hanging indentation, if it makes a difference if I move that up. All right. So now there's no problem there. You can see that everything looks as it's supposed to. The reason that we indent in this manner is to make the author's name very noticeable. It's easy to kind of go through a list of works at the end of an essay and find exactly the author's name that you're looking for. I also ask that you tell me the place where you found the source. So I'm simply going to put here, I'm just going to say online, but if you were looking for, if you had found a source that was in the library at Rhone State, you would want to tell me RSCC library, or if it was your local library, give me like the name of your library. I could simply say here online or, internet or something like that. And that way I would know specifically that it was the internet, an internet search that yielded this. So if it was like a print book, you would just say print book or something like that, just so I know if I want to go and search for that, I have a better idea of where I might find it. As far as how to set this up, how you find that, the section in the Prentice Hall Reference Guide, big MLA section, I think it's tab 11, but if you look at the tab, you're going to see this big directory. If you flip that tab over, you're going to see like 2 pages worth of a directory that tells you where you need to turn, which page you need to turn to, depending on the kind of source you have. So if I would probably look at, for this one, I would look at, definitely it's an online source. It was a book, it was print, but yet it's available online. So I would sort of have to do a combination of what I would put for a regular print book combined with it being an internet source.